But for now, it looks like the worst of this weather continues to develop across northeast parts of Texas, east of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. What's in store for our area? Closer to Houston, I think there will be the chance through tonight for a few strong storms. If we're going to get anything, it's going to probably be in the next 3 or 4 hours. After that, the chance kind of diminishes until tomorrow. Then it blows up again. But for the rest of today, notice that severe risk does clip Cold Spring, Conroe, Tomball, 1 out of 5 possible risk there. A slightly higher 2 out of 5 likely risk up towards Huntsville and also over towards College Station and Brenham. That is through tonight. So that means if we get anything strong or severe, it likely stays off to the north and west of Houston, but we will still be monitoring the radar closely and watching any strong storms that try to get going. As far as the rest of the area, it's going to be really about the wind. That wind advisory covering a big chunk of southeast Texas, including Houston, Atascocita, Katy, Sugar Land, Pearland, Galveston. This continues for about another 3 hours or so, all the way through about 7 o'clock. Gusts around 30, 35, upwards of 40 miles per hour. We've been dealing with this for most of the week. It seems like once we get rid of the wind advisory, it makes a quick appearance the very next day because we've been stuck in this same pattern. Mostly cloudy, warm, super humid, and very windy. So that's basically the setup right now. 81 degrees in Houston. That wind sustained out of the south around 25 miles per hour. Dew points in the low 70s, so that super muggy, sticky, steamy air remains in place, and temperatures have soared into the 80s for just about everyone. That strong southerly flow keeping that very warm, muggy air in place. Here's our main issue, as it has been for the last 2 or 3 days, the wind. And check out wind in Galveston. If you were planning a beach trip this evening, not going to be the best conditions. We've got a very high risk for rip currents. We've got the risk for a little bit of coastal flooding due to that strong onshore flow kind of pushing some of that water onto the coast. And just look how windy it is. Walk on the beach with 40 to 45 mile per hour winds. Probably not the most pleasant thing. So you may want to plan that for another time. 40 mile per hour gusts for you in Freeport, and a wind gusting to around 30 to 35 miles per hour right around the Houston area. So definitely the wind will be an issue. I think the worst of the severe outbreak though will stay just to our north, but we'll still watch those counties under the tornado watch. Of course, that includes Grimes County, Walker County, and Trinity County through 9 p.m. Will likely be taken out of the watch an hour or two early, but of course we will keep a close eye on it. Notice where the severe storms are firing up, and that's going to be northeast Texas, and that will continue up into eastern Oklahoma and western and central portions of Arkansas, over into Tennessee and up towards Kentucky. That likely will be the worst of the weather for the rest of today. It's not just the threat for tornadoes and damaging wind, but there's a huge flash flood threat for the rest of today as well. It stays just to our north, but notice that purple area. Once again, a 4 out of 4 risk for some major flash flooding up around parts of Arkansas, Fort Smith, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Springdale, and up towards Springfield in Missouri, and into parts of western Tennessee and western Kentucky. These are areas that have been just pounded by heavy rain, severe storms, tornadoes for the last few days, and now it's a major flood threat. So just all sorts of hazards going on there. I think the heaviest of that rain stays out of Houston really through Sunday. Models are only really showing maybe about an inch of rain for much of Houston and up towards Shepherd and Livingston. So I don't think this is going to be a big rain producer for us. There could be some isolated higher amounts, maybe a 2-inch total here or there as we go through your Saturday. But the worst of that flood threat will stay to our northeast, pretty far to our northeast, where you see that purple color, 7 to 10 inches of rain, potentially for north central parts of Arkansas, into southeastern Missouri, and over into western Tennessee and western Kentucky. So we may escape the biggest of the flood risk, but it looks like the threat for severe storms has increased for Saturday, especially during the afternoon. So it's going to be a Fox 26 storm alert day with rounds of heavy rain, damaging wind, and maybe a few brief tornadoes in the area. Here's the latest from the Storm Prediction Center, showing that 3 out of 5 very likely risk for some severe storms, clipping Huntsville, Conroe, all the way down to northeastern Harris County, Bush Airport, Cleveland, and Cold Spring. So that's going to be the most likely area for that possibility of tornadoes if we get anything. But even there, the tornado risk is still low, only around 5%. There's a low 2% tornado risk down around the rest of Houston, Pasadena, Pearland, down towards Galveston, Bay City, and Sugar Land. And then the farther west you go on I-10, the severe threat does get lower for Saturday. Speaking of that tornado risk, here it is. I've got it outlined for you. Highest to our north and east. 5% risk clipping northeastern Harris County, parts of Montgomery County, Conroe, Shenandoah, Woodlands. Low 2% risk down around Bay City, Wharton, Angleton, Pearland, Sugar Land, Katy, and down around Galveston. So even though the risk is low, does not mean that it can't happen. So we are going to be monitoring the radar closely tomorrow for that threat for severe storms. Make sure you have our free streaming app, Fox Local, downloaded on your phone for updates on any bad weather that pops up tomorrow, and our Fox 26 weather app, a great way to receive those alerts and severe warnings if they do indeed come out. Satellite radar shows this storm system that has just been plaguing much of the center of the U.S. for much of this week. It's kind of been nearly stationary, not moving much, and just dumping heavy rain and producing more severe weather over some of the same areas. It's finally going to get the little push, the little kick it needs to make it down to Houston for tomorrow, and that is when our weather will start to go downhill. Our exclusive Fox Model Futurecast showing this line of storms back to our north and west around 8-9 o'clock, likely out of our area by then. So I think we're fairly quiet for the overnight hours. So that's good news. You're trying to sleep. You don't want tornadoes and damaging wind. Heading into Saturday morning, though, 8, 9, 10 a.m., maybe you're going to grab some breakfast, going to get a jog in the park. I think it's just going to be some shower action with the best chance northwest of Houston. But late morning, 11 a.m., noon, lunchtime, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., I think the storms will likely start to get going, and a few of them could pop up and become strong to severe right over the Woodlands, Huntsville, Conroe, and Houston. Moving on through the afternoon into the evening, 5 o'clock, 6 p.m. Saturday, still the threat for a few strong storms. Maybe you're getting dressed, getting ready to head to a big watch party for the Cougs. Of course, Houston and Duke in a huge matchup tomorrow for the NCAA Final Four. Game is in San Antonio, but hey, lots of watch parties right around H-Town. So hopefully we'll get rid of most of this rain, but I do think there will still be a decent shot for some scattered heavy downpours by 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Going through the overnight hours, Saturday into Sunday, we will eventually start to get rid of all of that rain with just maybe a shower or two lingering around 7 a.m. Sunday, but that is going to be it. After we get through early Sunday morning, the rain moves out, temperatures start to tumble, and I do think we will start to see more sunshine. Finally, it has been a very cloudy and kind of dreary week. Cloudy, windy, and warm, so it's nice for the sun to make a return. I think that will happen for parts of Sunday and especially on Monday. All right, so let's check out your watch party forecast for Saturday. If you are going to be heading to one around town, maybe heading to a sports bar to watch the big game, 81 degrees, strong storms for the afternoon through the early evening, and then some of that starts to push out as we go into Saturday night, and then clearing out completely after early Sunday morning. Notice the temperature drop from 80s Saturday to highs only in the middle 60s for Sunday. Back up to around 70 Monday with plenty of sunshine. All right, I want to leave you with the forecast for the Cougs. If you are lucky enough to have a ticket for the game at the Alamodome in San Antonio, maybe you're about to hop in the car, head that way. There will be the threat for some strong to severe storms overnight tonight through early Saturday for San Antonio, but for the game time, 7 o'clock, maybe you're rolling up to the Alamodome, the storms will be gone. Temperatures will be dropping. That wind will shift from the south to the north, so it's going to be windy. That north breeze around 30 miles per hour, but check it out, rain chances only around 10% for the tip-off time for Duke and Houston. Cannot wait to see that one. All right, 11 p.m. temperatures falling to the upper 50s, so you may need the light jacket as you're walking out of the game, hopefully celebrating a big Houston victory. All right, well, that will do it. We're watching the radar. I'll continue to monitor any threat for severe storms, especially for our northern counties, but once again, keep in mind the severe threat will be increasing for Saturday, so make sure to stay alert, keep an eye to the sky, make sure you have a way to get those warnings. Download our Fox 26 weather app, and of course Fox Local, Fox Local, Fox Local. That's our free streaming app where you can get any information that you need about what's happening with the weather. Stay safe and enjoy the rest of your Friday.